holiday meal planning doesn't have to be complicated. Hi guys, it's Crabby Chaos Coordinator, and I'm back again today with another video. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I do my holiday meal planning ahead of time, all in one shot, so that I can keep myself out of the kitchen and out enjoying the holiday with my friends and family. So if you want to see step by step exactly how I do that, then stick around and let's get to it. Okay, so to start, I'm gonna list out all of the holiday meals that I am in charge of, along with my holiday baking and snacks that we do as well. The goal with this is to get everything listed out so that I can do one big grocery shopping trip to cover most of this, other than the fresh ingredients, obviously. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Thanksgiving dinner, and I also have a Christmas brunch that we do every year. I also do a New Year's dinner, and I want to account for the holiday baking and snacks, because seriously, what is Christmas without baking and snacks? So let me start with the holiday baking. That one's pretty straightforward. We usually do similar things each year, though my daughter usually will try a new recipe because she loves to bake. But we start with sugar cookies. My kids actually come over, even their older sister comes over, and we do a cookie baking night, and we decorate them, of course. And then we also make Mexican wedding cakes, one of my favorites. Those are the little round ball cookies that are covered in powdered sugar, and you usually put, I think some people put pecans, but we usually use walnuts. I think they're also known as Russian tea cakes if you look at the Betty Crocker cookbook that I use. And we also make Chex Mix. I don't think it would be Christmas without that for sure. And then I make the butterscotch cookies. And these are the ones with the Chinese noodles that I honestly cannot remember the name of. I'll know what that means, but I'll look it up later, and I'll probably put it in here in a caption if I can remember it. And right now, that's all I can think of. I think there's a couple things that I'm missing, or things that we might want to try, but I'm not going to be doing this shopping haul until a little bit later, so that gives me a few days to make sure that I haven't missed anything. For our New Year's dinner, it's actually really simple. I'll be sharing this recipe soon. It's one that's really near and dear to my heart. We used to always have it on Christmas Eve, but since we don't have my kids on Christmas Eve every year, I kind of moved the tradition to be kind of a New Year's dinner. So we always do my grandma's potato soup recipe. And once I get that posted, I'll link it here. And then we usually do a veggie tray and French bread. And then usually I'll do some kind of simple dessert. Oftentimes I'll pick up the little puff pastry that has the cream inside, the ones that are frozen, and we'll thaw those out, put some chocolate syrup on the top. I'll probably do that again this year, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there as just dessert, because I'm not 100% sure. All right, so for Thanksgiving dinner, we do turkey, green bean casserole, just the classic. That's one my kids can help with. And we do stuffing. I actually buy I think it's Mrs. Cubison's that comes from Costco, and we fancy it up. And by that, all I mean is I saute some onions and some celery, and I add it into the stuffing when we put it together. So it just makes it a little fancier, but it's still taking a shortcut for sure. And then we also do mashed potatoes. Now, I would prefer to do from scratch mashed potatoes. My family is okay either way, and honestly, it's a shortcut I may take this year simply because I won't be able to get things done the way I want to. I used to always have Wednesday evening before Thanksgiving, but now that I work at night, it kind of makes it a little harder for me. So I might take a shortcut and use some instant mashed potatoes, so there ain't no shame in that for sure. So we'll see which way I go with that, but I always have instant mashed potatoes on hand, so it'll be fine either way. The girls actually really liked it last year when we made, I think it's the Watergate salad. They really hadn't had a lot of Jell-O salads, and so they were kind of intrigued by the idea, and I think they actually liked this one. This is the one that has the pistachio pudding mix in it and pineapple, and it's actually really good. It's really easy, and my daughter liked making it, so I think I have everything for it, but obviously I'll check. We usually serve some olives, which I probably have on hand already. I might make a small batch of deviled eggs. It's not everybody's cup of tea in my household, but I like to make a few just because it's something I'm used to having. And quite honestly, we usually have quite a few eggs because we have our own chickens. And so it's a great way to use some of them in a little different way than we normally eat them. We'll have some kind of a roll. I think I'm gonna be brave again because I had good luck last year with making some of my own bread and rolls. So I wanna try that again. I keep something really simple, nothing elaborate, but definitely something homemade, I think, on that, especially if I'm gonna take the shortcut on the mashed potatoes. We'll probably do some gravy. We always like to have sparkling cider too, so I mean to make a note of that. Although I will say that stuff has gotten quite pricey these days. Let's go ahead and start on Christmas. For Christmas brunch, we do cinnamon rolls. I do not make these homemade, especially considering that I will be working the night before. I usually use the Rhodes rolls, but I do make my own frosting because their frosting is too sweet. So I will make my own frosting, but take the shortcut with the Rhodes cinnamon rolls. We also do bacon and more bacon. That's something I'll do ahead. It's great because then I can just heat it up in a foil pack. And then we always have a breakfast casserole with tater tots. That was added when I converted our Christmas breakfast into a Christmas brunch since we usually ate it later. And I totally butchered that spelling. Let's try that again. There we go. We used to always get Donald Duck orange juice, but we didn't do it last year because it got really expensive and much harder to find. So we'll probably just have our usual coffee with breakfast, and that will be just fine. I may try to get some fresh fruit if something looks good, but that won't be, of course, until closer to Christmas morning. Okay, so now that we have our list of things that we are making for each of these meals, the next step is to list out the items that are needed for that. So that's gonna look like this. So for Thanksgiving, we obviously need a turkey, and I'll also need onion and celery since we stuff that inside the turkey. We keep our turkey pretty simple. And then for the green bean casserole, you need green beans and you need cream of mushroom soup. And you also need the onions, the fried onions, which they're a much better value if you get them not the French's brand, but if you get the big bags from Costco, especially if they go on sale, it is a much better bargain and it's just as good. And I think that's pretty much it for that because everything else I should have on hand. I probably honestly have the green beans and the cream of mushroom soup in my pantry as well, but I want to make sure I have extra to replace it. So we'll need the stuffing mix and again, onions and celery. And then mashed potatoes. I'm gonna put russet potatoes with a question mark because I'm probably gonna cheat and use the instant ones, but we'll see. Whichever way I go, I'm covered. And the Watergate salad, I need to make sure I have the pistachio pudding, Cool Whip, and pineapple. And then of course, olives are straightforward. We'll need the olives, which again, I probably already have. And deviled eggs, I have everything I need. We have our chickens that give us the eggs. I have mayonnaise and mustard on hand, and we don't do anything fancy in our deviled eggs. I wouldn't mess with that. That's my aunt's, I wouldn't call it a recipe, but it's my aunt's method. So I wouldn't mess with that because you don't mess with perfection, right? And then for the rolls, I'm gonna have to take a look, but I probably have everything I need. I have yeast, I have flour, sugar, butter. I have anything I could probably need because they're gonna be a real simple roll. So I don't really need anything for that. For the gravy, if I wanna cheat and use a mix, I have it, but I can make the turkey gravy from scratch. I just need to make sure that I have Wonder flour. I grew up with this, but I know a lot of people probably aren't familiar with this. It comes in a blue canister. I think you find it with the regular flour, but it's a canister. It's like super fine flour, so it mixes really, really well and thickens your gravy without it getting lumpy. It's great. If you haven't tried it, definitely check it out. And then of course, sparkling cider. I'll have to watch for that to go on sale because it's a pricier item than it used to be. And for Christmas brunch, I'll need to get the Rhodes cinnamon rolls, and then I'll need cream cheese for the frosting. And I always have butter on hand. I know I'll need powdered sugar too, but I ran out of room. I'll have to get some extra anyways for the baking, so I usually stock up at this time of year. I'll need to make sure I have plenty of bacon. I'm pretty sure I do, but I always like to replace it since we go through extra then. And for my breakfast casserole, it's actually really simple. I'll have to share the recipe sometime. It's actually really easy. So I need tater tots, green onions, cheese, eggs. Obviously we have chickens, so I will have eggs available. And that's about it for that. Coffee, obviously we keep on hand, and then fruit. For New Year's dinner, this is actually super simple. Again, I'm sharing the recipe soon on this one, but I'll need russet potatoes, onions. That's about it for that. And then we'll need a veggie tray. I take the cheat and I get it from Costco. French bread we'll need to pick up because I honestly don't make that from scratch. It's on my list to try, but I'm not gonna put the pressure on myself to do it for a holiday. That's not really realistic. And dessert, I think I will go with the puff pastry filled. I cannot remember the name of them to save my life today. Yeah. Well, I'll put the name of them in here. You can get them at Costco. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I will add that in here. For holiday baking, I'm just gonna make a straight up list here. I need to get some extra sugar, powdered sugar. We'll need to get walnuts, butterscotch chips. I do have some of this on hand, but I wanna check my stock to make sure that I'm not running low. And then I need the Chinese noodles, and I'll need Chex, and I'll get that at Costco because I think they have that on sale this week. And then you'll need pretzels. I'd love to find bagel chips, but honestly, nobody really sells the little bagel chips like you can put in Chex. So we just usually leave them out. I need mixed nuts, and then I usually add extra cashews because it's our favorite. And then I think I'll need to get the decorating items, which I honestly don't really need a whole lot. So I'm gonna put a question mark because if you watched my pantry video, I realized how many sprinkles and decorations we already have on hand. My logical brain is telling me we probably don't need to buy anything. That's not to say some won't accidentally end up in my cart when I go to Walmart. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that wraps up our list for the holiday baking and snacks. So that's it. That's everything I do to plan my holiday meals and baking. I do this all in one shot, again, so that I can actually enjoy the holiday with my family and friends. It seems like a lot of work, but realistically, if you set it up right up front, you're not scrambling at the end. It doesn't really take that long, and it's so worth it to be able to really enjoy the family and be present with your friends. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions for me, please drop me a line in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much.